Crime Curious is a true crime podcast that takes an in-depth look into real cases through the lens of a trained investigator and former prosecutor turned judge.
If you are sensitive to expletives, anatomical descriptions, and accurate descriptions of crime scenes, this podcast may not be suitable for you.
Welcome to Crime Curious. I'm Charnell.
I'm Megan.
And Jason might be joining us in the middle of this episode. Who knows? Shaking all of our gree-gree.
Just drop my gavel, guys.
Yes.
It's okay.
Petting
Everything. Petting all the things.
Mm-hmm. All right.
We've
Let's
got
off to a good start.
real weird on this podcast,
We
man.
really have. If this is your first time listening, gree-gree is just our good luck, but all of it has been sent in by listeners like you, and you weirdos have really knocked it out of the park lately.
You really have. And you know what? If we forget to acknowledge it, bad things happen with our recording. So there's something in our energy that necessitates us stroking these items of love.
It is so true. It's so true. Let's get us off to a good start.
All right.
Okay.
What have you got for me today?
Oh, gosh. We have attempted murder and murder.
Oh, gosh.
All of it just
Sounds
wrapped
like
up.
Another stellar human being.
Uh-huh. Yeah, there's some mental illness
There will be.
I would argue that, don't you think any type of murder includes just a little bit of crazy, even when it is just like seems justified, right? Like that vigilante justice that we talk about. I truly just feel like you have to just be a little bit nuts.
If you have worked in my line as long as you have, I have never seen anybody commit those horrible offenses that wasn't crazy or have some type of mental illness. It doesn't make them incompetent. It doesn't make them criminally not responsible.
Right.
But something's off because normal people don't go around plotting to, intending to, or actually causing harm to other people.
Right. Like
there's something wrong.
Elwood says, happy people just don't kill people.
It's true.
They just don't.
It's true.
Okay, well, let's talk about Morgan Jane Smith and Daryl Smith first, okay? Their relationship didn't just start off rocky. It came pre-assembled with chaos, warning labels, and a return to sender sticker. Morgan had moved from Connecticut, to Florida.
As one will.
Right, because of course this is a Florida case.
Right.
Why isn't Florida involved in this case, right?
Why wouldn't Florida be involved in this case?
By 21, she was already struggling with serious mental illness, which isn't her fault, but is her responsibility.
We say it every time.
Including frequent suicide threats, unfortunately. Okay. And mental health issues ran in her family, Megan. Her father had actually died by suicide when she was really young. And throughout her life, she was prescribed various psychotropic medications for borderline personality disorder and major depression.
This is all on point so far.
And it's a recipe for absolute disaster because Daryl is, he's not as mentally ill as Morgan, right? But he has issues, and you put the two of them together, and it's just yucky soup.
Yeah, it's not gumbo.
It's not the yummy soup.
It's the reflecting pool at the White House.
Yeah, it's more like
not the White House, Lincoln Memorial. It's the reflecting pool in Washington D.C. How about I rephrase that?
It really
became something
is.
Unpalatable. Nothing you would want to put your mouth on.
No, not at all. Unexpectedly dirty. Yes.
Yes, that's what happens with mental illness. Things become unexpectedly dirty.
Mm-hmm. And before Daryl and Morgan had married, they actually had a daughter, okay? And then she met Daryl, whom she loved. I think I read that wrong. I'm sorry, guys. Before Daryl, Morgan had been married once and had a daughter. My apologies.
Shockingly, that's how I took that, is that she had a child beforehand.
I just said it so ass backwards. I don't even know. Like, try reading your notes, Charnell. My gracious. But yes,
your brain gets ahead of you.
That is what happened. Okay. And it is hard when you're familiar with a case and you know, like,
what's coming
You know, what's
next?
coming. It's hard for me to actually read my notes, but I'm going to stick with them, you guys, because I wrote them for a reason, for that exact reason.
Yes.
Then she met Daryl, whom she lovingly or obsessively, depending on the day, called Spike.
Oh,
All right?
okay.
So she eventually packed up her life to move to Florida to be with him, and then
Oh, because Spike was from Florida.
Spike was from Florida.
This is all starting to make sense.
Yep. And then the two of them had a daughter together. So, calling their relationship difficult is generous, okay? Morgan threatened suicide so often, it might as well have been a monthly subscription plan, okay? That was actually written, not in those exact words, but in a article that I was like, wow.
It may seem a little insensitive, right, in terms of how the article approached it.
But even journalists were like, dang, this was bad.
This woman either was really attention-seeking then at this point, or she was cycling in her depression and on a monthly basis wanted to unalive herself or had thoughts towards same, which we see happen.
Yes. And in a minute, I'm going to get to a detail about their relationship that will, I think, shed some light on why maybe some media personalities or journalists might have picked this story up and sensationalized it a little bit. But regardless, despite the emotional turbulence, the two had an intense, unconventional bond, as it was described. Morgan even took Daryl's last name without any legal paperwork. They were spiritually married, all right?
Oh, okay.
Legally single, emotionally unhinged, but spiritually married, all right?
I get it.
They are in a BDSM relationship.
Okay, no judgment.
No, not at all. But that is why I think that journalists were a little bit more, shall we say, lackadaisical with the coverage that they did, because
Oh, well, that's more interesting. It makes for a better story when
It
people
sure does.
like to be leather daddies.
it's salacious in that way
It
to the
is.
common missionary boring folk, right?
You got it.
And the thing is, though, this BDSM relationship, it only deepened Morgan's fixation on Daryl.
Right. Can I guess she was the submissive?
Of course.
Okay.
Of
Well, that's
course.
why.
Yep.
Yeah.
Their dynamic was full tilt kinky. Morgan did take the submissive, quote unquote, slave role. That is not my words. That is the research words. Okay.
It is.
Daryl was the quote unquote master, and she liked to wear different collars and such, right?
I want to point out here, not from personal knowledge, but that very often you might actually have a very strong female partner who is super in control, who actually prefers that submissive role with the BDSM play. And this is consensual.
It is.
Voluntary
Yeah.
play.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. And the only reason that I even incorporated it in
is
the
because
research,
the news did.
Well, it's because I think that it was this role as his submissive and this obsessiveness is what Morgan takes it beyond the bedroom. Morgan takes it too far, coupled with her mental illness.
Okay.
And so to me, it's a contributing factor to what happens in this case, because certainly there have been other cases where it has been mentioned and it's not relevant to the story or what happens. And so I've left it out because, hey, we don't stink kinks here, and to each their own. But in this case, it's a part of the case.
Okay.
Let's see. Where did I leave off in my thing? To really drive home her devotion, Morgan tattooed property of Daryl Smith.
Oh, I hate that.
Me too. Right there on her abdomen.
Okay.
Right on her old belly button, where she was connected to her mama. Now she's property of Daryl Smith.
Mine's going to say property of nachos.
Nachos. Oh, I am often held hostage by the thought of nachos.
I know, me too.
And what is interesting, though, she could have said Spike.
She could have.
But she said Daryl Smith. So that is even a little more intimate to use his real name.
She was attached to his person.
Yeah.
Maybe wanting to submit herself to him in more ways than just role play.
And nothing says healthy relationship choices like branding yourself with your partner's name. I know so many who have done it.
I know. And all I'm going to say again is get your kids' names, guys.
Yeah.
Or your pets.
Oh,
little
right.
puppy paw print right
You're
here.
always
right
going to
here.
love them.
Please don't put his name, his nickname. It doesn't matter how long you've been together, you guys.
It doesn't.
Get your parents.
Have I ever shared my thoughts on unconditional love? Like, unconditional love exists, but like my love for Matt and his love for me is conditioned upon
certain
us treating
things.
each other with respect and love and kindness.
Well, and you
right?
you can't say, I'm sorry, you can never leave me because I have your name on my flesh.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
It does not.
It does not a binding contract make.
Spoiler alert, a lot of people still end up not together even after you've brandished their name.
Yes, correct.
It's unfortunate. Yeah. Anyway, over their 12 years together, here I am like stumbling because I can't find where I'm at in my notes. Over their 12 years together, Morgan was described as being completely at Daryl's beck and call. If he wanted it, she did it. If he didn't want it, she probably still tried.
Okay.
Her entire identity revolved around pleasing the man that she believed owned her.
This is going to go badly.
Uh-huh. And eventually, Daryl gets tired of the whole arrangement, and he decides to upgrade to a new girlfriend.
Ah, yes.
Andrea Stranko.
I don't think Andrea's going to do well here.
Well, Morgan certainly didn't take this well. And by not well, I mean her jealousy went into a full-on, from a simmer to a full-on rolling boil. Their relationship was tumultuous to begin with. Okay, like I think I've made that clear that although whatever they enjoyed inside or out of the bedroom, coupled with her mental illness and their relationship, it wasn't easy. They fought constantly.
Yeah, but she'd become codependent.
100%. And Daryl just eventually is like, yeah, I'm tired of this. I'm going to move on.
Yeah, because I can find somebody else who's into BDSM and role play that isn't going to take it this far.
Yes.
Or that isn't going to be serious about it. And he never put a ring on it. They weren't married.
No, they were spiritually married, not legally in the eyes of the law. So, Daryl, in a move that can only be described as, sir, please stop making bad decisions.
No.
He tries to juggle a three-way relationship with Morgan and Andrea.
This is the most typical man thing I've ever heard.
Such a dude thing.
My
Such
ex
a
is-
Florida man thing.
My ex is obsessed with me. She's kind of stalkery, but I kind of like it.
Yeah.
And I want to keep her around.
Yeah, maybe I can
so I'm
swing
gonna
a
bring this
threesome
new
here.
relationship in and see if I can't get her, because she's so submissive that we
Yes!
can be a throuple.
Absolutely.
Oh,
and
God.
it works for, over just about a year.
It does.
Holidays are kind of like a custody schedule. So we've got
Okay.
Christmas with one, Super Bowl with the other, Mondays here, Wednesdays there.
So he's not trying to necessarily bring them in together. He's just spending time with each of them separately, and they know about it.
I got the impression that both of those things were true.
Okay. All right.
And the thing is, this is messy, right? And Morgan's mental state is not built for messy.
No.
They tried to stay together for the sake of their
Daughter.
12-year-old daughter at this point. But eventually, Daryl ends things for good. For good.
He's
After
like-
about a year of trying to juggle the two,
Okay.
he picks Andrea. Now, this is when Morgan's jealousy evolved into a full-time job. She stalked the couple. She bought a shotgun. She took shooting classes.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, listen, this is personal development, I think, in her
I
mind.
suppose. We call it evidence.
We sure do. We call it building premeditation.
Premeditation is
what
where
we
I
call
would.
it.
Yeah, is where I was going with it.
The day before the murder of this case takes place, Morgan loaded the shotgun with 5 buckshot shells, watched Taxi Driver like it was a training video, and then drove to Daryl's house to wait. On the night of March 28th, 2010, 43-year-old Daryl Smith and his girlfriend, 46-year-old Andrea Stranko, were doing what many couples do on a quiet Florida evening. They were watching...
Shooting alligators.
Close. They were watching people beat each other senseless on TV.
Oh, MMA.
Yes.
I do that.
Well, a neighbor was actually having a party for the Ultimate Fighting Championship event that was going on.
Okay.
So they go over to the neighbor's house for that party.
I'm such a hillbilly, man. I'm like, hey, I've done that.
100%.
Not even in Florida.
A majority of us have done that, yes. Especially in 2010.
UFC. I'm an old
Yeah.
school GSP girl.
Yeah,
Love me
yeah.
some Georgia St. Pierre.
Right. It was
They're
fine.
from Florida, though,
It
so
was
you
a
know they
good
were
time.
Cheeto fans.
They definitely were. They definitely were. They're blissfully unaware that Morgan was just outside having her emotional cage match in the front seat of her own car. Okay?
Nice metaphor.
Thanks. She had driven to his place on the 2700th block of South Sanford Boulevard to confront him about ending their relationship. From her car, she could hear the gathering next door, and according to Detective Chris Morales, the sound of hearing Andrea's voice was making her rage build higher. So in other words, Morgan is sitting there stewing like a pot of emotional gumbo, just to bring up your gumbo reference from earlier.
She is an episode of Snapped.
She is. Detective Morales also noted that Morgan knew a party was happening next door to Daryl's house, so she watched. And she waited and watched some more.
With her shotgun?
Mm-hmm. Eventually, she saw Daryl and Andrea leave the neighbor's house at 1:50 a.m. to head back to his place. Now, this was Morgan's cue. So it is freaking nearly 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, God.
She got out of the car, grabbed her 20-gauge shotgun, because nothing says healthy coping skills like armed confrontation, and followed them. Daryl actually...
That's how it's handled in our town, too.
Yeah, 2 a.m., man. Everything good happens at 2 a.m. when a shotgun is involved and stalking people, you know.
Alcohol, UFC, shotguns, and ex-girlfriends.
And ex-girlfriends, yeah. It doesn't get any more country than this right here, actually.
The homicidal gumbo is boiling.
It is. Daryl actually spotted her approaching with the gun and tried to shield Andrea. Very chivalrous of Daryl.
Daryl's done enough. He can at least protect her.
Daryl, at least give us some sort of manlyhood here, man. But when Morgan fired, and remember it was buckshot, the shot went through Daryl's shoulder and struck Andrea, killing her instantly.
Really?
Yes. Neighbors who heard the gunfire rushed outside. Before Morgan could turn the gun on herself, witnesses restrained her and held her until Northport police arrived.
She intended a murder-suicide.
Yes, she did.
She couldn't live without him.
And she wanted it to be Daryl. She shot at Daryl. I don't think she was intending on killing Andrea. It was just the way that it happened.
But with felony murder like that, your intent to kill one person, it doesn't matter. For all intents and purposes, she intended to kill both of them.
Well, I think so. With the buckshot, I think the buckshot kind of, tells us a little bit.
I agree. And I think the part where you exclaimed, or when you explained to us that she'd been doing shooting lessons and had actually trained herself on this weapon would indicate she wasn't like, oh, I picked up buckshot and I didn't know what it would do.
Absolutely. Yes. No, that is a very, very fair point, and I agree. But maybe she wanted all three of them dead.
Yeah.
And she did. The thing is that it did say Daryl. I know. Daryl did attempt to shield Andrea, so it's possible she was going after both of them, all at once. So when the officers got there, they were greeted with a sight that probably made them question every career choice they ever made. But Morgan was actually wearing a T-shirt with the word slave across the front and a collar identifying her as Daryl Smith's slave.
So this was the outfit that she wore when they were engaged in their activities, and that's how she was going out.
Mm-hmm. And now you see why I included the information about
to.
their relationship, which
is why the media outlets picked up on this way too. This is kind of an incredible story. You have a homicide that's occurred, somebody got arrested, and they're literally wearing a collar and a shirt that says slave.
Yes.
So
police soon learned that Morgan and Daryl had been in this long-term BDSM relationship where she's the submissive and he was the dominant. And they soon discover the tattoo declaring property of Daryl Smith that's on her, abdomen.
Spike, you should have known then that this was going poorly. And maybe he did, and he'd been trying to get out of it. But
right.
We don't like to blame victims. I don't like to blame victims, but this man needed to have ended this and not attempted to have a relationship with two women.
I agree. I think that he completely escalated it, especially knowing that she has actual diagnosis. She has borderline personality disorder and depression. I mean, I agree with you wholeheartedly. And it's not his fault that she has mental illness too. But
it's not his fault that he and his new girlfriend got shot or were
No.
killed or that she was killed either. But
they were together for 12 years. And so I agree with you. It's one thing, okay, Spike, go ahead and move on. But to your point of trying to have this every man's fantasy two-woman relationship thing. Of course, there are a lot of men listening right now that are going, honey, that is not my fantasy.
We know.
One woman is enough.
Or more than enough.
Right. Or
I am a lot, Charnell.
I know, me too.
I require a significant amount of attention.
I am the reason why my husband is like, oh, hell no.
Gray, bald, all of the above.
Yes, one wife, that's it.
All my love languages, all of them.
Yes, exactly. And
we know, guys.
And he would even say, and I think your husband would agree that if something tragically happened to us, Matt is very adamant that he's like, I don't need another wife. Like, no. I'm not doing marriage again.
This one was enough.
Yes, exactly. That's how you know that you are not at risk, ladies, for ever being asked to be a part of a throuple or anything like that. Because when you're enough or too much, that's the right line to walk on.
I am so not trying to show too much remorse for the murderer here, because she did a bad thing. Okay, but just imagine then where she is in that state of being, where she's obsessed. She's been made to feel and has felt like this is the only person for her. She submits to him in all ways, and then he casts her aside, and she doesn't follow through with mental health help because of it. And then she's kind of strung along as we can continue on. I've brought this new woman in here, and she allowed that to happen.
Yeah.
And I think would have continued to indefinitely until he was like, shit, this is enough. I got to make a choice, and it's going to be the less crazy one.
Right. And, and I can't fault him for needing to pick the one that comes with less drama.
Either. No, good choice, Daryl. But at the same time, man, you did not help the mental health situation here at all.
No.
And the most innocent of the parties is who died.
Yes, 100%. Poor Andrea,
yes.
Right? It's just, and who knows, you guys, we do not know what Daryl had been telling her. Maybe she didn't realize that he was really trying to juggle both of these relationships.
I think she did, but I think that it was she knew, okay, I'm bringing you into this relationship I'm having. She may have been super open to that. Okay, fine. Yeah. We can have an open relationship. I understand that you're with this person. Hey, I'm kind of into it too. If you wanted to bring her around like that, no judgment on her, and what she was getting into. But I don't think she knew what she was getting into.
No, I don't think there was a lot of honesty in the psychological,
And just tragically, she's the one that dies. So does Daryl have significant injuries at all from this shooting?
He just had buckshot through his shoulder. That's all.
Just a flesh wound.
Yes, and the police find out pretty quickly this is like a psychological demolition derby, that ended in murder. And so by April 2010, the Sarasota press had basically turned Morgan Smith's life into a serialized psychological drama. Reporters dug into the why behind her murder of Andrea Stranko, and the Herald Tribune unearthed a trial of emails and text messages that Morgan had sent her ex-husband in Connecticut. Messages, because remember, she was married before in Connecticut and had a child with that man.
But she wasn't obsessed with him.
No, but she was sending him emails and text messages that basically read like a real-time meltdown. Like it becomes obvious.
Is she confiding in him? Is she using him in a meltdown about her relationship with with Daryl?
Yes.
Okay. I just want to make sure she wasn't melting down about their child or their prior relationship. She's literally using him to vent to.
Yeah. Her ex's name was Dan Amore, by the way, and so
I'm sorry, Dan, because that's rough too. The mother of your child is fucking losing it, and you can tell it's happening in messages in real time, and then you find out probably on the news that she's attempted a murder-suicide and made it through the murder
and was
part.
Arrested. Yes, exactly, and then the press do this entire, because this was March 28th, and so April. The Sarasota press, they really all of a sudden just get a hold of these emails and text messages and start publishing them.
Ugh.
So this is
I hate
in
that.
the news.
During an active investigation.
Yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure the investigation was about wrapped up by that point, considering how it was, she was detained before she could turn the gun on herself. But
the thing is that, and I don't know that this happened, it doesn't mean it was necessarily released from a great source. It could have been the ex-husband himself going, here, news outlet, these are all the messages that I got. And it doesn't make him a bad person necessarily either.
Right.
But they were released, and so now this is
found a way.
the fodder for the public.
Might be. Yeah, exactly.
The court of public opinion.
Mm-hmm. On March 21st, 2010, so this is exactly 1 week before she murdered Andrea and attempted to murder Daryl, she sent a text to her ex, Dan, quote, got the one out I loaded in the magazine, but I put one in the chamber and don't know how to get it out. Yes, the safety's on. 2 minutes later, she followed up with, it's very awkward to aim at myself. And then 2 hours later, after that, sent an equally emotional equivalent of a table flip. Quote, nobody ever replies to anything I say. I hate texting and I hate the phone, end quote. So she is speeding, like here we are spiraling, and he's not engaging. He's not texting her back. The next day she texts him again, this time leaning fully into despair by saying, quote, I can't wait to die. Sadly, his bringing the meds ended up doing more harm than good. He makes fun of me when I cry my heart out and calls me Lucille Ball.
Oh.
The police were here again, but apparently law enforcement was called frequently to their house. Yes. As I had mentioned in the beginning, she had a lot of suicide attempts, right? And so Daryl would call when she was having those. So law enforcement is used to that. I think at this point, Dan is just not responding, probably because he knows she's borderline personality, right? This is a tragic part of the disorder that you're going to have those highs and lows like that, right? And so
he doesn't have an obligation to respond to her either.
He's in Connecticut.
And he's trying to protect his own mental health.
Yeah.
You don't have to respond to somebody.
No. Yep. In earlier messages, Morgan had also vented about legal trouble that she was facing for an attack on Andrea.
Oh, so she was already in trouble for an assault on her prior.
Yes,
I think she might have been the target.
Yeah.
Or both of them.
I think it was both of them, really, but I think I wondered if she wanted Daryl dead first. I don't know. Who knows, Megan? Back in November 2009, Morgan learned that Daryl was officially dating Andrea. Okay, it was back in November 2009 when they make it official that he's no longer trying to juggle between these two women. He has picked Andrea.
He made his choice.
Yep. And the two of them meet in the parking lot of the Toledo Belade Apartments in Northport on November 23rd. Morgan initiated the meeting, and things went downhill fast. And so on the report, it says, quote, on November 23rd, 2009, the defendant initiated a meeting with the victim, Andrea Stranko. They met on that same day at approximately 6 p.m. in the parking lot of the apartments in Sarasota, Florida. After that, a conversation happened, and then Morgan attacked her.
Okay.
The conversation lasted about 40 minutes, but instead of ending with a polite goodbye, Morgan ended up hitting Andrea with a hatchet.
What?
3 times in her left arm.
That's a felonious assault.
Oh, yeah.
This is not a simple assault.
Yeah. She got hit with this hatchet in the left arm, in the back, and in the right shoulder. So Andrea is able to escape, luckily, because, I think this could have been a very slow, brutal murder
at
that
violent
time.
Homicide.
Yes.
This is extreme violence.
Yes.
Rage.
And Andrea immediately goes to the police. Morgan's own statement to the police didn't help her case She told them that the two had gone for a walk, talking about everything, and then she just decided to hit Andrea in the back with a hatchet several times. She admitted she grabbed the hatchet before they left because she planned on beating her up, not killing her, just like a light, casual, hatchet-based tune-up. Yep.
Tune-up.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry to laugh, but there's no one brings a hatchet to just like lightly assault someone
with. Yes, I just wanted to lightly beat her up. That's all.
With a
hatchet. Because I'm extremely mad.
I've never heard of a more Florida assault than a light hatchet tapping.
A light hatchet. A light hatcheting.
Okay.
Yes. And she said it's because she was extremely mad that Andrea was seeing her boyfriend.
That is motive.
Mm-hmm. Andrea's injuries were described.
And opportunity.
Oh, yes. Yes. Andrea's injuries in the police report were described as 3 small abrasions.
Oh, so she didn't do a good job with the hatchet.
No,
but she'd been practicing with buckshot.
But it was consistent with the hatchet blade. She used the bladed side of the damn hatchet.
That we needed much corroboration because she made admissions that are also consistent with the attack.
She sure did. Yes.
And at this point, the fact that she's not in jail with a large bond to no bond or a mental petition involuntarily hospitalized is incredulous to me, but I've seen weirder things.
Oh, especially on this podcast.
Yeah,
yep.
Or in real life.
And the thing is that what I kind of inquiring minds want to know, was she swinging gently or was this the world's dullest hatchet? How do you swing?
Was she fighting? Was the victim fighting back or trying to get away?
She was trying to get away.
Yeah,
she was trying to get away, but she still got 3 hits. One on her right arm, her left shoulder, and her back. Small abrasions.
We've said before how hard it is to swing an axe, even a hatchet, a small one, depending on how heavy it is. So it doesn't mean you're good at it.
No.
And those type of stabbing or cutting type assaults require a lot of physical strength as well.
Yes, very much so.
As the mental or lack of mental fortitude to go with it, it's a way easier out to use a gun.
That is for sure.
And typically not as violent, although we've seen some pretty violent shotgun assaults as well.
Andrea's account of things confirmed exactly what Morgan said. As they were walking and talking, Morgan found herself behind her and started hitting her with the hatchet. And somehow after this, the 3 of them still are in this, after this hatchet attack. I mean, she still stays with Daryl, right?
Well, yeah, he's
still in. Of course, they share a daughter together. So
you imagine the conversation. You know, girlfriend gets home and she's like to Andrea, says to Daryl, she's like, well, I have to go to the hospital because your ex just tried to kill me with a hatchet.
Yeah.
And Daryl's like, it's okay.
Like, yeah, been there. Been there. Is it the dull one? Did she use the dull one? Don't worry about it.
We can still make this work.
Yeah. Like, not to worry. She'll do whatever I say because she's my slave. Come on.
I don't like it.
No, me neither.
I hope that that's all speculation and that's not Daryl's response. But I can tell you that it doesn't appear that. Why wasn't she in jail, you guys?
I know.
Why wasn't she picked up on it? They probably went complaint and warrant.
Yeah.
Because it didn't happen in their presence, they took the statements, made sure they matched, and sent it up to see if they'd be authorized by the prosecuting attorney's office.
Well, and I mean, I know this doesn't necessarily matter because the prosecutor can press charges, but I'm wondering how much Morgan was influenced by Daryl to not press charges. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I mean, Andrea, excuse me, not Morgan.
Yeah, I knew.
Keep getting the names mixed up for some reason. By June of 2011, the courtroom drama of State of Florida versus Morgan Jane Smith was ready for its debut. Morgan stood trial for the first-degree murder of Andrea Stranko and the second-degree attempted murder of Daryl Smith. So the trial kicked off in Sarasota County Court under Judge Rochelle Curley, and day 1 was basically law enforcement roll call, okay? Now, day 2, though, that's where things get messy. Daryl Smith, attempted murder target, and the man at the center of this entire emotional demolition derby, took the stand. And in true Daryl fashion, he dropped a statement Morgan had allegedly said. A statement the defense had never heard before.
Oh.
Surprise evidence is great for reality TV, but not so much for court. So Judge Curley declared a mistrial.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, hit the reset button and scheduled a do-over for September 2011.
That's had to have been a crazy statement for the judge to stop the trial and declare a mistrial. Do you guys know how rare that is?
I couldn't find what it was.
No?
I wanted to know.
And hopefully you couldn't or didn't, at least at that point in time, other than requesting a court transcript,
Right.
because it needed to go back to trial again, and you don't want to be tainting juries.
Yes.
Jury panels.
Yep. When the trial restarted, the jury had a simple but chaotic question to answer. Was Morgan a scorned lover who planned a cold-blooded murder, or a mentally ill woman who snapped under the weight of a decade-long BDSM-infused relationship
She was both.
and a love triangle that should have been shut down at the application stage?
That's hilarious. Both things can be true.
Both things are true.
I know. It's not an either or.
I know, but at the trial, that's what they're trying to, pull at here, right? Are you just
Defense
mentally
has to have
ill?
something. What
They
else can the
do.
defense
I
come
know.
up with here other than mental illness? It happened. It's a true thing that happened.
Yes, and that's the thing, Megan. The defense painted Morgan as a woman pushed past her breaking point.
She was.
She was. A long-term partner discarded, replaced, and emotionally destabilized.
She was.
She was. They leaned heavily on the three-way relationship between Morgan, Andrea, and Daryl, complete with alternating holidays like some kind of dysfunctional romantic custody agreement, right?
Yes.
They
Not
were
making Daryl very likable, right? You want to discredit and make the victim unlikable.
right. Don't yell at us about that. That's just how it has to work
It's
in a
true.
defense. They reminded the jury of the 2009 Hatchet incident, the breakup of January 2010, and how Daryl cutting off communication sent Morgan spiraling. I hadn't told you those details yet, but that's the timeline of how these things really went down.
And that Hatchet incident, that prior assault, is going to come in under a 404B prior bad acts motion, for sure.
Yep. And so the prosecution, led by Assistant State Attorney Carolyn Schlemmer, which is fun to say, countered with receipts. And by receipts, I mean every alarming thing Morgan had done in the days leading up to the murder. They told the jury that she'd bought the Mossberg 20-gauge shotgun gun, taking shooting classes, and loaded it with 5 buckshot shells. They argued this wasn't a breakdown. It was a preparation.
It was.
And it was. And then came Morgan's ex-husband, Dana Moore.
The text. How hard it was to point that gun at herself.
And he took the stand with a digital paper trail, right?
Yeah.
He testified that he actually contacted the Northport police about her suicidal messages 2 days before the murder.
Good for him. That is a highly redeeming quality. He may not have been responding to her because it was crazy and he didn't have any obligation to, but he reported it.
Yep. In the trial, these are the things that came out, some of the text messages. I'm in an extremely bad mental state, and it's crucial to have an eye kept on me until you guys get here by someone I know, not cops or doctors. She also sent, I can't wait to die. He makes fun of me when I cry my heart out and calls me Lucille Ball. I don't think anyone pays the least bit attention to anything I post. She's posting on
Social media.
Yep. And probably the bitch is over. I should do it now. Please, if anything happens to, I'm not going to say their child's name. In the text messages, she said it, and so it was released. But she's saying, if anything happens to our daughter, let her know it's not her fault.
Ugh.
Okay. And so these are the messages that he's receiving, that he calls 911, does the right thing that way. I don't know that he's engaging with her, but he even knew that Daryl's birthday was March 28th, which is the day. I mean, it was the early morning hours. It was 2 a.m., but that is the day that this all happened, and he was fearful of that. And he knew, when she was sending those messages 2 days before, he knew his birthday's coming up. This is going to be a problem for her. It's going to push her over the edge. And he was absolutely right. So Detective Sergeant Chris Morales testified next, confirming Morgan's rage had escalated simply from hearing Andrea's voice over at that party. He described her arrest outfit, the black shorts, black Converse, black T-shirt with the word slave above a ball and chain graphic, plus a metal slave collar. Courtroom fashion, was questionable, but that's what he described and showed. They had pictures.
Yeah.
A psychologist testified that Morgan still believed that she was Daryl's slave and would obey him if he asked, and that she didn't understand right from wrong when it came to Andrea.
No.
I am really bothered by that.
I don't like that
Really
at all.
bothered. You know that was paid for by the defense, right? That expert came in, the psychologist, but when it comes to not knowing what's right and wrong when it comes to Andrea, And so what happens, Megan, is the trial quickly became a battle of mental health expert versus premeditation evidence.
Yeah. I was waiting then for the prosecution. Yeah, they're going to place on their own,
of course,
counselors and therapists to testify.
They
did. While she may have had opinions about that, she took that BDSM piece to a whole different level. And it doesn't necessarily make you incompetent or insane by legal standards.
No, this wasn't a cult where you have Stockholm Syndrome and you have all of those psychological things. This is a very typical BDSM relationship.
I do believe that
someone who has mental illness and the partner moved on.
I do believe that she probably considered herself his slave, his submissive, and obviously continued to desire to be in that relationship, but they weren't anymore. Right. So now she's given free will, and that's the important part, guys. She's given free will, and both sexually and in her personal life, because we don't have any evidence that they were ever personally acting out this submission thing. She was giving into all of his whims. He had freed her. She didn't want to be free from that part of their relationship, and then she made a choice to end herself, but she was going to take some people out with her.
She was going to take them all together.
It doesn't, in my opinion, but a jury may find different, rise to the level of some type of a not guilty by reason of insanity.
Well, and this is one of those, when the trial becomes a battle of the experts, one side against the other,
rough.
The jury has to decide which expert and which argument that they're going to get behind, right?
Yeah.
The prosecution argued that Morgan planned to kill Andrea and then herself. She fired the shotgun, hitting Daryl's shoulder, but fatally striking Andrea, who collapsed on the front of the lanai. And neighbors tackled Morgan before she could turn the gun on herself. And when questioned, Morgan admitted everything, even drawing a diagram of where everyone stood when she, quote-unquote, took the shot. So State Assistant Attorney Dan Yutter summed it up bluntly by saying, unrestrained passion and governable anger is not insanity.
Agreed.
Right?
It's a good argument.
That is exactly what happened here. After a week-long trial, the jury deliberated for about an hour, barely enough time to finish the vending machine snack before returning their verdict.
Now, before she reads the verdict, I want to let you know I'm almost positive that there was probably a verdict instruction here that they could find her guilty of first-degree murder, second-degree attempted murder, either guilty, not guilty, guilty but mentally ill, or not guilty by reason of insanity. And those would have been the four choices on each of the charges.
Yep.
Okay, give it to us. What'd they find?
Morgan Jane Smith was found guilty of the first-degree murder of Andrea Stranko and sentenced to life in prison September 30th, 2011. She also was convicted of the attempted murder of Daryl Smith and received an additional 25-year sentence for that.
Okay.
She's lost all appeals to the state. I could only find where she had only filed one, and she lost. And so at this point in time, she is still life in prison.
Okay.
Interesting
without
case,
the possibility of parole,
Yes.
obviously, is how Florida typically works on those. So, okay.
Yeah.
Very interesting case. I mean, the psychology behind it's always interesting, but it's very rare for you to find one where you stump me, where I'm like, okay, this is so psychologically disturbed. There's so much going on that I'm not quite sure how I would rule on it. And I know a lot of you guys like to get my opinions on those type of cases. I know the last general audience one we had that was a redo that you guys did with the Mary Beth Tinning one. There was a listener too that was interested in my opinion on it. And to me, it's a no-brainer. I mean, clearly the woman was kind of like this one, obviously mental ill. You don't go killing your own children. You don't go killing people unless there's something wrong with you. But there was no question that she was, it was premeditated in terms of the act, and that she was able to make that decision competently.
Yes.
And that's exactly how this case is as well.
Yes.
So none of this surprises me. You gave me a relatively straightforward case in that in how the criminal justice system worked, and its appropriateness.
Finally.
And how it worked. You did. And I know you guys hate it when we say things that might potentially victimize the victims, and you know that that's not what we're all about. Defense attorneys don't like doing it either, but they play a role, and in that case, they had to try to make the victims unlikable, and they had to really assert that mental health piece because they had nothing else.
Yes.
And you have to build a defense.
Honestly, a lot of defense attorneys have even less to try to build a case about, right?
Absolutely.
That was the obvious choice to try to pull at her mental illness and their BDSM relationship.
Because the defense attorneys are right here, not by the victim, not by the young lady that died, but by her ex.
Yes.
Our defendant was wrong.
Yes, absolutely.
And you can appeal probably to women who've had to deal with situations like that on your jury as well, or dads. Dads are always great to have on juries as well. Dads of girls especially. So there are things that have to be done, but this was a good conviction.
Yep, I agree. So, are you ready for a brain bath?
I am.
Well, I forgot to prepare one officially for us. So you know what that means?
You're going to read from that freaking Don't Trust a Fart book.
We are. I'm going to read from the Don't Trust a Fart book. And Jason is back from his chiropractor appointment now.
And now he's back.
And so he can
just
listen.
Lounging
he's
on the
just
couch,
lounging. He's just
waiting
laying
for
on the
someone
couch
to feed him grapes
in the studio. And so he can just listen to this while I read it. It's called The Sleeping Beauty Disaster.
I don't
It's fairly short.
Okay, good, because you know how I feel about body humor.
Yes, I do. Trains are supposed to be relaxing. Scenic views, rhythmic clatter, maybe even a nap as you roll through the countryside. But when you share a car with strangers, relaxation can turn into regret in the time it takes for gravity to do its thing.
Jeez, ow.
I was exhausted from a week of meetings and deadlines. The overnight train seemed like a blessing. I slid into my seat, nodded politely to the middle-aged businessman beside me, and settled in. He was quiet, courteous, and even respectful of the shared armrest. I thought, perfect, a considerate neighbor for the night. The train rocked gently, the lights dimmed. Sleep pulled me under fast. When I woke...
started rumbling, louder than the train.
When I woke, everything had changed.
Oh, no.
My head was no longer upright. I was resting on my seatmate's shoulder.
Oh, God.
His very unwilling shoulder. And worse... my mouth had been open. A wet patch gleamed on his sleeve, large, obvious.
So far, you're saying something that totally could happen to me on an airplane.
Absolutely. The unmistakable mark of drool. I bolted upright, horrified. Oh my God, I'm so sorry, I whispered, fumbling for tissues, wishing the train would just derail so I could escape. The man gave a tight smile, dabbed at his sleeve with the kind of calm usually reserved for hostage negotiations. No problem at all, he added, which I translated roughly to, I will absolutely tell everyone I know about this.
100%.
The next 3 hours were torture. I sat rigid against the window, every muscle tense, determined not to move an inch. He slid his jacket between us as a barrier. Subtle, but unmistakable.
Like, no problem, as he creates a barrier with his clothing.
Not a problem at all. I couldn't blame him. By the time we pulled into the station, I had aged 10 years. He walked away quickly, probably eager to burn the shirt. Me, I vowed never again to trust overnight trains, or at least to travel with someone who wouldn't mind being used as a human sponge. See, this wasn't a potty one.
It wasn't. You just gave me drool. Yes. Thank you for giving me saliva, Charnell.
See? Isn't that nice of me?
Yes, that's adorable.
That was in the Don't Trust a Fart storybook.
But normal. Give me the scores on this, because for humiliation factor, it's not that high.
It's not bad, but the regret meter was 8 out of 10. She did drool. She full-on drooled on a stranger.
I'm okay with that.
The cleanup cost was 1 ruined shirt sleeve and 3 hours of silent shame.
He has a washer.
And what I learned, sleep is bliss until it drools.
Okay.
Cute. Not bad.
Not at all.
Anyway, I hope everybody else enjoyed that little story, too.
It was cute and wholesome. I thank you for bringing me something cute and wholesome.
You're welcome. I try. I'm wearing my overalls today.
Farmer Nell.
I'm trying to be cute and wholesome over
I'm all
here.
dressed up from work. This happens every time. I was going to go home and change so I can fit in, because Charnell doesn't like it when I come looking like I came from prom or something, but
Well, I work from home
I know.
primarily, and I do have to be dressed up for my Zoom
And I work
meetings.
from the stage.
But yeah, I was able to change after work today. I got into my comfy overalls, and you're always in your honor
my
gear.
comfy not overalls.
Right. She's
My
in your
honor
your
gear.
your honor gear.
You don't know what I wear under that robe, Charnell.
That's true. Just one time I want it to be nothing. Just
Okay.
once. Just once.
Perfect.
Like your last day on the bench.
I'll let
Please
you
do
know.
it for me.
Do you know how old and what I'm going to look like
Yeah.
when that happens?
That's why even better, my
no one's
friend.
going to want to see that.
Even better.
I couldn't tell whether his robe was wrinkled or whether that was her.
She just looked like she was wearing a wrinkly beige shirt.
I spend any more time on the beach and they're going to be like, I don't just look like a fruit leather strip.
With tattoos. It's
Lots
fine.
of them.
Oh, Lord. Well, thank you all so much for listening. If you would like to support us more, you're welcome to click on the link and join our Patreon and get several bonus episodes a month where we're slightly more unhinged. Well, no, way more unhinged than when we are for general public episodes. Follow us on social media and stay safe out there. We do hope that you keep it curious.
And keep listening.
Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, used to chase the tears in a different kind of grind, helping little ones leaving our old selves behind. Charnell, Jason, Megan, a trio strong and true, but the system wore us out, needed something fresh and new. So we flipped the script, found the mic and the beat. From deep investigations to stories bittersweet. Prosecutor, the judge, that's Megan on the mic. Charnell digs the dirt, makes sure the facts are right. Crime curious, yeah, that's the name we claim. Shaking our grief, fanning the curious flame. From global listeners to the brain bag we provide. Keep it curious, keep listening with nowhere to hide. Jason's got the wisdom and the jokes to make us smile. Keeps the energy flowing for every single mile. We dive into the dark where the mysteries reside, unraveling the truth with nowhere left to hide. Laws and evidence, Megan lays it down with grace, while Charnell's deep research sets the compelling pace. Crime curious, yeah, that's the name we claim. Shaking our grief, fanning the curious flame. From global listeners to the brain bag we provide. Keep it curious, keep listening with nowhere to hide. Don't ask about the raccoons, some secrets we just keep. But every week we're digging secrets buried deep. For every mind that wonders, for every soul that seeks, we're here to break it down in our crime curious speaks. Crime curious, yeah, that's the name we claim. Shaking our grief,